All right, folks. Welcome. This will be a very aggressive game. I will try and get everything that I feel is worth bringing up out of the way before the action begins. The thing is, there's a lot to talk about here. This is a best of 7 decider. We have Sebastian actually going for the early mill, which is not that common. He's taking the straggler trees for wood right now here with the Romans. And we've got ACCM playing as the Sicilians on this side, which has been happening in other sets as well. Now, the winner of this series gets a flight to China, and then they are playing in a $50,000 LAN event hosted by Yo and the LY sponsor. And so that's a big opportunity for these guys. That's a lot of money. And there's a lot less to lose here. You do get some prize pool to kind of soften the blow, but these players are currently full-time. Everyone trying to pursue the dream of being a pro gamer, right? And that would be a huge opportunity. Now, two different storylines for me. ACCM's a little bit more established. ACCM, he's got more consistent high-level results. ACCM has also been around a lot longer, so the experience is there for him. Sebastian has had a really crazy last 2 years. He has rose up to, in some people's minds, into the top 10. But I think for him to truly be there, he's got to start qualifying for more LAN events. And one LAN event, which he was extremely close to qualifying for, was, I think it was NAC 5, which was a year or two ago. And he lost in Game 7 to ACCM. He just choked. He choked. He went for a forward castle and got denied by feudal age towers. He probably, had he played it safe, he would have been there instead of ACCM. So that's what I think about. When I think best of 7 decider between these two, I think about that moment. Style-wise, I think it's very interesting. ACCM's a fighter. He's got a lot of grit, so he's very hard to kill. I would say Sebastian tends to be much better in terms of flooding the map with military. But if it's not the right military, if it's not finding the right time, things could be a little bit complicated for him to break ACCM today. So he's got to be clinical. Now, scouting from Sebastian's top tier, he already scouted the middle. He didn't see any villagers on the shorefish. Now he's coming out here and he will see a dock. I've seen Sicilians played before. Usually you're not seeing the Dark Age dock. Usually what players are doing is they're going for the donjon ASAP. But having that food eco really helps you if you want to make the sergeants out of the donjons. And so now he's going to come to the middle as well. I like the timing on the build from ACCM. And now Sebastian's focus is out of the middle for the time being. He's bringing a villager here. He's adapting his build to go disrupt those fish. And there's also militia on the way. This will be man-at-arms for Sebastian, no doubt. And he could maybe hit the wood line. I like this dock. I don't think this is a dock ACCM's going to expect. ACCM's going to check down here, because that's where your typical starting dock spot would be. But ACCM probably not going to expect this. So both players kind of benefiting from their builds. One player having more workers in ACCM. But then the other player had the early shorefish. Scouts are both 2 hits from going down, actually. And Sebastian ends up getting the kill. Sebastian just 2 HP. Now here he comes. ACCM didn't know about this. He has to quick wall. And this is a map where if you are not sharp yet, if you are not warmed up, you are going to get completely brutalized. Now we've got sergeants here. Sebastian did not scout this, and he's got to panic. His army is currently walled out. Sergeants are here. Sergeants are not attacking, though. The sergeants probably should just focus on villagers. The tower's going to go up eventually. This villager might get picked off. This tower's about to go up. And that villager's headed back to the TC. There's a crocodile attacking Sebastian now as well, but Sebastian, well played. Man-at-arms are still attacking the mining camp. Villager survived underneath the TC. But I just love how simple things tend to play out with the sergeants, because you can do so many different things with them. First off, they're stronger than a man-at-arm right now until some more upgrades come in. And then you can also build more towers with them later on, which is really strong. Having said that, What a game here, guys. We've got fire galleys already. This was not something ACCM was expecting, so he's going to lose those fish. And ACCM actually hasn't been able to get more on gold. You want more than 2 on gold, but Sebastian has positioned himself to kind of deny that. Even forcing repairs there on the mining camp is insane. Archer range for Sebastian now, much later than ACCM. And this is just some beautiful Age of Empires here, guys. These guys are so good. They are so freaking good. Everything that needs to be done is happening. ACCM needs a mill. He's going to build a mill. Well, maybe he doesn't need a mill because he's got this. But yep, there's a mill. He's getting the timing there. He's going to start thinking about farms around the TC. Sebastian actually in the same boat right now. He might need to get out to these berries, but it's less likely he can do so. Field of Flowers says, you said build towers, you mean dungeons? Bro, if 1% of the things that I have said over the last 5 minutes is incorrect, must you point it out? Or can you just say, wow, this T90 guy's really busy. I understand what he meant. Let's maybe not say something? Like, come on, man. Come on. Thank you. Thank you very much for correcting me. Thank you for letting everyone know, just so there's no confusion. That is true. Sicilians, they build dungeons, not towers. Don't want there to be any confusion. There will be some fish for Sebastian. The archers and the skirms are chasing this away. This is on these hybrid maps, guys. This is where you really have to focus heavily on that farm transition, because there's so many other things to look at initially, like the shorefish, which they still have to work for. But seriously, farms around the TC end up becoming key at a certain point. Now, this map, you sometimes just see people YOLO for the mills on the box turtles, because it's just a 100 wood investment, and there's so much food. I'd like to point out that Sebastian hasn't lost a unit yet. That's about to change, but that's a really good start for him. And I'd also like to point out that Romans get additional armor. They get double armor once they research that first armor upgrade, and that can be really nice here for the 7 man-at-arms from Sebastian. Now, he's not on stone. Here comes the dungeon for ACCM, but Sebastian is going to immediately rush this down. This could be a horrible decision, or it can be an incredible decision, and I think it's actually the right call. Yeah, that dungeon has to be deleted, and he might actually continue on here, guys. Sebastian knows how to send it. He's bringing his villagers. No more shorefish for now. I think he's going to win the fight. The sergeants are so low HP. Any of the archers behind can be focused down. Now, there is the dungeon fire, and the villagers are being attacked by a sergeant, but look at all this. That dungeon is going down quickly. Sebastian... This is risky. Sebastian's losing villagers. The dungeon's being repaired. The man-at-arms died, and Sebastian has to back away. Wow. I mean, that's just how this map works. That's your thinking, right? Your thinking is be intense, be aggressive. When you have the army lead, you want to use it. But the dungeon ended up getting 5 kills there. And so ACCM's not gonna be too upset about that at the end of the day. Actually, could have been worse for Sebastian, but now he's down in workers. And just still looking to see, have they transitioned into any farms? Wow, ACCM actually stabilized on water. He's coming back now. He will kill a Vil, and he will kill a fishing ship. Guys, that right there is ACCM to a T. And that's going to be the difference between these two players. ACCM is really difficult to kill. He's able to hold on in moments where others can't. And Sebastian typically is overrunning people by now. Like, the fact that he held that and also came back on water is wild. How can they think about everything? It feels like this dungeon spot is only just to leapfrog more forward more with more of them. And the sergeants move in. The sergeants see the Vils, and Sebastian has to move away. Sebastian needs some damage here. The man-at-arms will be here. There's a lot on berries for ACCM, so his economic situation is very deceiving. He's not looking at this, because he's looking at this. Sebastian fighting back. The sergeants don't actually have armor, which means they're not nearly as strong as they could be. And ACCM notices this now. Didn't end up losing a villager, actually. A nice hold there from Sebastian. I just can't help but feel like had he been a little bit faster to stone, he could have just dropped an offensive tower earlier or a defensive tower. Like, that rush on the donjon, what if that was just taking the map and just dropping towers in these positions? Obviously, now he needs a tower. Loses another villager now. And ACCM's definitely got a lead in this game if he can hold it. And I like his comp. I like the skirms. I like the sergeants. Sergeants have more HP than a man-at-arms. They do have one less attack, but I think they also have more armor then. So it's like, I think Sergeant slightly beats a man-at-arms in a 1v1 fight, but it's a Roman man-at-arms, so I haven't actually seen that engagement too frequently. Skirm count's similar. Sebastian being pushed out of the middle is a big deal, considering he doesn't have lots of fish either. And he gets house-walled out over here as well, so these man-at-arms have not done much. We have a cheeky donjon there for ACCM. Just in case, I think he might be expecting some counterplay with archers, but that's not happening. And now ACCM has these 9 villagers on box turtles in the middle. Damn. I wonder if Sebastian researched arson and just full attacked the donjon, if that donjon could have even have been saved. Repairs are really strong, so I don't know. If anything, villagers, because they're bonus damage against buildings, you tend to feel like villagers are just fine there. But it just, that was the moment of the game where this started to turn around a little bit. The start was all Sebastian, and now Sebastian hoping to complete this market not only as a wall, but also just to buy resources to get to Castle Age and saves those 2 weak vills. That market's not going to get completed, and actually ACCM sees the vills, takes one of them, takes... Oh! That should be a save. But ACCM's position is insane. This is the only area that's vulnerable for him. But anything that comes forward, he can probably make sergeants for, and he's on the way to Castle Age. And you just gotta love ACCM's fight, man. But this is a map where if you don't have the shore fish in the middle, you need to have fishing ships. It's called fish and fish, right? You gotta have fish or fish. Now, excuse me. I'm suddenly dying. Now, whoever scripted this map made this box turtles, but I will continue to call this fish. I don't want any... Well, actually, T90. I don't want any well actuallys, please. Oh, it looked away here, actually. The, Now I'm saying actually. Wow, so... Kind of crazy that ACCM completely abandons this. I guess he needed another wood line, but that is a nasty lumber camp. But sergeants, once they're in Castle Age, just get immediate increase in HP, which is insane, right? To not have to invest into an upgrade to make your unit stronger is always going to be incredibly strong. And we see more barracks now for Sebastian. He's definitely thinking about more infantry himself, but he would have to get longsword. I think ACCM misclicked here. I think he fought the first one and is running back for some reason. Wow, and he's building a donjon there. So now 75 HP, 8 base attack, more armor. There's nothing that Sebastian can do to engage against that. And those units did get cleared up. And just such good food eco right now for ACCM. He's got the fish in the middle. He's got the fish on the outside. He's got the fish and the fish. And Sebastian hoping that ACCM makes a mistake right now. Hoping that he can find a good engagement on this army, maybe. Maybe trap this army. Look how good the sergeants are against the man-at-arms, though. The skirms are also still going to help. Sebastian relying on the market now more than anything. And here come more sergeants to ruin Sebastian's day. The tower won't do much against the sergeants with full armor now. Villagers on stone are getting attacked. Villagers on the wood are getting attacked, if you could even call that a wood line. And in an aggressive first game, this feels over. Longsword upgrade completes, but what do you have left? Look how many villagers you've lost. Longswords are not long enough to deal with this, man. 17 sergeants for ACCM. They're not even all here. Right? Like, the sergeants are still... There's still some back at home, probably. There's still many on the way. And this is nice, right? Like, if you've beaten Sebastian before, You're kind of reminding him right now. You're taking him back to that dark place. You're like, hey, I'm freaking ACCM, and I'm someone you have to worry about today. And obviously, Sebastian's going to recognize ACCM's skill. He didn't come in here underestimating him. But I think coming in this sharp, getting a win like that, when things got really nasty at the start, I think that that's huge. And maybe Sebastian just second-guessing going after that dungeon. I think that was the turning point of the game. I think if we go back there, leading up towards that, Sebastian's got the momentum lead, right? Well, you know, I guess we need to go back a little bit further, right before he decides to rush this. You know, the reason he did this was because of this dungeon, which he absolutely needed to rush down. Sorry, I gave the wrong person the win. So this was actually the good play. And I think if he just maybe goes back to his fish from there, this may be all right. But now I'm saying all these things. He didn't have a lot of fishing ships. He was still out of shore fish around his mill. He hadn't transitioned to berries yet, and ACCM had. So, I mean, yeah, maybe if he doesn't take this attack, he still ends up falling behind against the sergeants and the skirms. But going into that fight, the KD was 4-2. And then at the conclusion of that fight, it was 8-11 for Sebastian. So obviously that was pretty horrible. And then it actually got worse. He ended up being 9-16. So good stuff. And Sebastian, I think he needed his man-at-arms. If you're going to rush here, you need to keep your man-at-arms underneath the tower. Like, you need to be patient, a bit more patient, as weird as that sounds. You don't want this dungeon to be able to hit you with arrows. There's no murder holes. So chasing down everything out here was probably the issue with the fight. Like, he's giving the dungeon shots. And it's not even... Someone in my chat is saying it was a focus fire from ACCM. Honestly, it's not even a focus fire. It's just the only things that aren't underneath the tower were the man-at-arms. The skirms were actually underneath the tower. If anything, you want the skirms out there. So, yeah, just not the fight he would have wanted. And, yeah, GG. So, we got game 2. We've got Tatars for Sebastian. I feel like this is a civilization that should be made for Arabia. You don't actually see it picked on Arabia that frequently. But I like the pick. The additional food on the sheep is very nice. It helps you ease into feudal age and potentially castle age, depending on how you play it. And then you've got the only civ that gets pastures. And this is a civilization that was completely busted on release. It was a civ that made me think, did they actually test this before release? Still unsure on that. But the pastures have been tuned down a little bit. Aspects of this civ have been tuned down a little. I still think it's really strong. And I actually do overall like the way, like the whole premise of the way the civ is balanced. Even though it was really, really strong. Because it's a civ that can hit hard, and if it doesn't do damage, then it drops off fairly hard as well. Main reason for that is that it doesn't get bloodlines. So this civ's melee attack upgrades are doubled. Their skirmishers, their spears, their scouts all train 25% faster, which is a crazy bonus. And then pastures have good food eco. So I think all that combines, you can just hit hard in early feudal. But if the game goes on, your units not having bloodlines means they are very squishy, right? It's just, you're not going to have a lot of success against mass cav archers, for example, with those lancers or even knights, just because you don't have the HP. So that to me is fun. Also, again, heavy cav archer upgrade available in Castle Age. That's super fun. It's 50% off. You get a lot of damage output, but you don't have the HP. So, I kind of, you know, I was maybe a little rude to the devs with my intro. You didn't test this. But, like, the whole premise of the civ balance I actually really like. It's just really hard to find that sweet spot, right? Because it's... When a civ has this many aggressive bonuses, the eco maybe needs to match it. So the eco was just simply too strong. So I would expect that you're going to see a stable here from ACCM. Now, I haven't played Catans enough to know. I probably haven't done the practice that ACCM has done. But I actually go 9 on wood. when playing this civ, and I want to go into pastures. I guess that doesn't make any sense, though. Now that I think about it. Because, like, the reason for that is pastures cost 100 wood and a farm costs 60. So it is more expensive to get your first pasture. But then it is 2 villagers on a pasture. So, you know, 1 pasture, which is 2 villagers working, is less expensive on wood than 2 villagers on farms. So, I guess it's a harder entry to your food eco. Stable's going to come up. And he's taking the chickens on the back still. And like I said, normally you could add your first farm right now. You can't. You have to wait for the pasture. But he might actually go for a mill on the berries first. And Sebastian going for some walls here. He's got a really wallable map compared to ACCM. This giant woodland on the front is absolutely insane for him. And he'll be going for scouts as well. Interestingly, did not eat all of his chickens. He instead has gone for the mill on the berries, but I think that's because of the Tatars, right? If you have a little bit more food on your turkeys, this you can get away with. And we're going to see the scouts out. There's domestication now for ACCM, so he's going to do that before we even see the first pasture. Not a big fan of this mill. I think he wanted to place a mill that allows him to be a little bit safer. So that's probably, yeah, that actually, the more I look at this, the more I like this. It's very easy for casters to get way too critical on slight building placement. And when it's an aggressive map, any slight delay to your eco is worth it if it means your villagers are safer and it's easier to wall. Someone says, I feel like going camels is a good way of dealing with Catans. Well, it depends how smart and how adaptive the Catan player is. Because Camel's not so good against the Spearman massing faster bonus. So, I don't think it's quite that easy, but I can see your point. I actually think you just need to match their scout numbers and get bloodlines. Match their scout numbers and get bloodlines, and then adapt, right? If they're going all-in scouts, your scouts are actually... They're just fine against it if you have the bloodlines upgrade. They have that more damage output, but you have the tankiness to match. So, yeah, pastures are up. Here come the scouts for Sebastian. That wall is not enough. Well, it might be enough to scare him away. And was there a hole here? Did Sebastian see that? I don't think he saw this. No, he did. The spears are coming immediately. Not actually sure. There has to be a hole there, right? There's no other way he got there. Sebastian just didn't wall that properly. But Sebastian's gold is much safer, assuming the walls are up. I'm still very confused. How did he get in? Nah, he just went this way. Okay, he just went this way. There was no hole. We were too busy. I didn't have any caffeine yet, guys, so I'm not even awake yet. I'm not even human. I'm not an addict. So if you see that gold, investing into a little bit of army just to try and disrupt taking that would be very nice here. This has been largely eco play for ACCM. We haven't seen the early blacksmith. We haven't seen lots of scouts. It's only been 4. But he did see the archery range, and he knows what that means. And his civilization masses skirmishers faster. So, not too bad for him in theory to mass a couple skirms. Thing is, you can't really move out with skirms if the scouts are out there. And that's a nice fight for Sebastian. Also was on the hill. Yeah, see, this feels balanced, right? This feels balanced. The pastures are obviously very good, but res collected is pretty much even right now. Before the changes, res collected would already be like 300, 400, 500 higher for the Catan player. I think ACCM's in a tricky spot because he doesn't want to overinvest in Feudal Age and be delayed to Castle Age, but now his opponent's coming with a lot of army. And now he's realizing, oh crap, I need to make more army. So it's smart from Sebastian. He's got a good map. He could play passive, but he's actually using it to play aggressive here. And so far, the fights have been really good. And that's how the first game was as well. It was just that one bad engagement. And wow, he thinking about taking the fight. He still only has 1 archer there. Sebastian probably won't be upset playing crossbow long-term either, because Step Lancers and Light Cav are going to struggle without Bloodlines. If you're forcing the Catan player into skirms, I think you're okay with that. You're actually just concerned about, even though skirmishers can be very good, you're just concerned about that crazy damage output that the Catans can get. Another pick off there, or almost a pick off for Sebastian. Look how weak these scouts are right now. So, I think Sebastian just doesn't seem to know where ACCM's army is at the moment. Army's actually advancing forward, and now double forging is in. So, one forging upgrade, it acts as double. Look how fast the house is going down. Normally, you send one vil to repair here. That might not even be enough. Sebastian's going to turn around, and he'll be checking the HP. That is not enough. He needs more repair villagers. He needs more repair villagers. He needs more repair villagers, and the units are through. They're not actually through. They killed one vil. That was amazing damage control from Sebastian. That could have been much worse. And that's what this Civ is just crazy at. It's just busting down your buildings. So nice job from ACCM. Obviously, he has more time and more space to add the pastures. And this awkward gold is no longer awkward because he's taken the fights forward. Castle Age times might be pretty similar here. We see Sebastian on the way up. Kind of interesting. He's dropping a market. I actually think his eco does not need a market right now. I would have liked for that to be a second range, personally. Just because he's on one range archer production right now. But obviously, having the market is good to balance things out long term. There's no doubt about that. I'm still not certain that this whole area is safe. There's a lot of palisade walls. The house is going to get taken out there. But Spearman comes over there. Spearman will be picked off, not before killing a scout, though. Someone asking, is wheelbarrow for pastures as good as it is for farms? No, it's not. Because pastures don't drop off in the same way as farms, right? You're dropping off at the pasture. You're not dropping off at the TC. So wheelbarrow is really not needed for that. I'm sure there's some benefit because it involves villager movement, but it's not really comparable for me. But wheelbarrow is helpful for other reasons, so it's not a bad thing to get wheelbarrow. Look at the amount of skirmishers that ACCM has now. Guys, so I played this Civ 2 or 3 times after the nerf. I think the Civ's still insane. But it's not actually because of the reasons that people thought it was insane before, which was just the scouts and the lancers. It's just eco, skirmisher, spearman is ridiculous. You think of how people play Byzantines, right? Like Byzantine, they play trash and they boom. Well, this Civ has a crazy food eco, and they can be greedy and then recover with numbers very quickly. So, that is really strong. And that clearly, that's what ACCM is planning on doing here. Now, hold up. He has to be careful. He does get a pick off on a scout. But I don't know. Maybe he's gone a little too far with these skirmishers here. Scouts don't have any upgrades. On this side, he's going to possibly need to move away. And on his gold, he needs to move away. Honestly, so well played from ACCM, though, to not lose a villager there. He needs his skirms to chase this down now. And these scouts actually will not contribute much against the skirms anymore. So ACCM moves his wood line. And here the skirms are killing off a couple crossbowmen. And yeah, Sebastian kind of unsure what to make. He is going crossbow. But you feel like you need knights now as well. Now, this town center feels risky, right? But it actually is a coverage TC. This is a TC that gives you vision over where the fights are going to be happening and protects the other side of that wood line. It's way better than a TC on this side where you can get hit. Look at Sebastian. Sometimes just standing there is way better than moving. He's being sneaky, and now ACCM thinks that he's run home, but now ACCM finds him, and that is not what Sebastian needed. I mean, he's got incredible micro, so even against fully upgraded skirms with the armor and the attack, he might be able to survive here. But ACCM is going to do his best to stay close with the forward skirms and then patrol in with the skirms from behind. And Yeah, you're waiting for those knights to come forward or some siege to come forward to combine with this, but it just hasn't happened. But villager lead for Sebastian. I guess that's because he didn't get wheelbarrow. He also does have bow saw. He's dropping a second TC. Crossbow mangonel is actually perfect here. And now here is where I think that Gatans will really struggle. And here is actually where this TC could actually look bad. Because you're inviting pressure. You're building a TC underneath the hill of Tatars. When Tatars do more damage on the hill. Now, another reason this TC is probably placed is because Sebastian had the army here. He needed a TC. He couldn't expand to the back of his base, so he had to go forward. And in and out of the TC there from ACCM, but micro is going to be key here. And Sebastian has some of the best micro in the game right now, so we'll see. This TC is going to go down very, very quickly. ACCM slightly ahead in resources collected, but look at the army counts right now. Yeah, don't even think about adding a second town center if you're either player right now. Oh my goodness, look at the attack round. And now can he take the rocket cart? Oh, he almost was able to take the rocket cart. It gets repaired now. His skirms get hit though. But now ACCM gets the hill. Hill is really important here. And the micro from ACCM's on point. Micro from Sebastian's on point, but the split doesn't work out. ACCM now building a pasture there. Are you crazy? Also, love how ACCM has the monk. He knows knights might dive. He's ready for that. He will drop the third TC. Third TC on stone, though, is lovely for a potential defensive or forward castle. And that was the difference between the hill right there. That rocket cart staying alive is because of the hill. And now can this rocket cart stay alive? Hey, Sebastian just so close to killing 2 rocket carts there. Eco is flying as far as 2 town centers is concerned for both of them. Actually seems to be better for Sebastian. It's hard to have the wood to refresh these pastures, but you don't need as many of them. And third town center for ACCM is a pretty big deal. I just don't think he has the food eco to produce out of all of them, but it's on the stone. Big shot for Sebastian. But 3 rocket carts is pretty crazy here. Oh, make it 2. Damn. Now, he didn't actually lose that many skirms. So if you have a monk there, your skirms are going to be back to full HP. Until Sebastian's thinking about maybe a little side raid to distract. But this is all about the fights in the middle right now. I don't really think ballistics is a high priority here. If you had to choose between a ballistic upgrade and 2 more rocket carts or mangonels, you would choose 2 more rocket carts or mangonels. But obviously, if you can do it all, you will. There's a distraction happening in ACCM's base, but I won't show that to you right now because this needs to be shown. Big shots. It was a knight, and it got cleared up. So ACCM maybe didn't micro as well as he would have wanted there because he was reacting. And that was basically to set up the rest of the action, right? Smart. I like that. I wouldn't mind it a bit more frequently from Sebastian, but it also... that makes Sebastian's work so much harder as well. And ACCM just... he just holds on. So tough to kill. Mangonel and Rocket Cart are weak here. ACCM splits into the shot there. And we have a camel from him. He's going to go for a distraction in the back. Little camel raid. Also, Monk is heading out for a relic somewhere. That Spearman not really paying attention to that. 300 stone for ACCM. If he wins the fight, he goes forward castle. But it's most likely just a defensive castle. As he actually goes for 4 TCs. Damn. Damn, dude. This is so good. ACCM is playing a perfect game. Sebastian is playing a near perfect game. But the fact that ACCM has been able to reclaim this hill is so huge here. This could have been such a vulnerable position for him. But now it seems like Sebastian respects his micro enough. Oh, God! Everything was going perfect there for ACCM until that moment. But, I mean, up until that point, he's really respecting him. Even still, he's respecting him. Like, he has 3 mangonels versus 1 rocket cart. He just doesn't want to risk losing everything. And that's just because you have to manage so many other things at the same time, right? Oh, look at this, guys. So the skirms, they're not here anymore. And ACCM's castle will pretty much lock down the front of the base. Where is Sebastian supposed to push now? And the skirms, they can maybe now go raid, which is a nice idea for ACCM in some ways, because the only army you're seeing from Sebastian is mangonels and crossbows, and you can outrun the mangonels and you can kill the crossbows, but it's going to be +2 knights from Sebastian. He hasn't seen a single knight yet, at least like recently, so he's not expecting this big switch. And if you lose your skirms, who knows what's going to happen from there. Also, what unit do you make now as the Catans is the question. He's making the Lidals. This unit is an infantry unit. I haven't really been that impressed with this unit so far. But I think it's because the Catans have so many other units to consider. I think it is pretty cheap. And apparently I'm dropping frames right now. Knowing this, I think I'll be back in a second. This has happened occasionally over the past week or two, so we're just immediately back. Okay, cool. Refresh in chat. Lee Dow's getting some raids. The skirm trying to come back home. Obviously, ACCM knows about +2 armor now, but the skirms have been able to make all their way back home, which is impressive. 15 villager lead. The screen was frozen? Okay, cool. So you heard audio, but screen was frozen. Yeah, okay. Knights are raiding over here. Is screen still frozen? Oh. Screen is still frozen. Okay, that's weird. Is this screen frozen? No. I think I can maybe do a refresh. Sorry, guys. I've never encountered this before. Try this again. Yeah, we're back. Okay, that was weird. Okay. Everything's good. The Knights got some big raids in there, guys. The Knights got some big raids, and that's what Sebastian needs. Now, this is tough work because he's got to avoid this castle that has ballistics now. But he's been able to get some good damage. There's also been some random damage from a camel in the back. That camel actually killed 7 villagers. And ACCM's eco got a little messy there with all the knights in and out of his eco. Doesn't have the pasture count he would want. And Sebastian's micro, very good, but the skirms and the monks are still around. Sebastian doesn't have ballistics. There's another monk here that could maybe convert a knight. Some of those knights are weak. ACCM dives into the mangonel. That's crazy. He will kill it, though. And he does get the conversion, but Sebastian is on the way to imp. How is Sebastian imping? How is he imping after +2 knights and being behind Invilles and being up against pastures? That is insane macro. Like, guys, you just don't even understand, dude. Like, that is unbelievable eco. And now, I mean, we'll see if what ACCM is planning on. We've got the Lidals walking forward. He's got a lot of villagers walking forward like he wants a castle. And let's see. Oh, God. Oh, there's a castle from both of them. But there's knights and crossbows here from Sebastian. The army is not fighting. I don't think he notices this. I think ACCM's castle is going to go up. I think Sebastian's castle will go up as well. You know what he could do is he could actually add some rams now. This might not end up being too bad for Sebastian because he'll be faster to trebuchets. And he won't lose many vills. But it gives ACCM so much time. Like, so much time to manage his eco. He's got so much more army right now. Well, actually, that's not true. He just has more army around these castles. It's going to be a Cav Archer switch for Sebastian, which, if he can get there, I think wins him the game. If he can get to fully upgraded Tatar Cav Archers, he wins. But he needs to take care of these skirmishers first. Sebastian is clearly a little rattled after this castle's gone up. Rocket Cart actually takes out that ram. A couple Keshiks are on the way. Again, they have +2 armor, so it should be okay against skirms. And ACCM's on the way up. And ACCM's castle won't be a waste because it's given him some presence on the map. But it hasn't done what he would have wanted it to do. But he has had time. His food count is spiked. He's now been able to get 3 relics. The other relic is over here, which he could snag as well, so that's good for him. There's also neutral gold, neutral stones. All of this is out here. So he's controlling all of that right now. If he can get a castle on this hill, that would be great for stone and gold control. He goes too far. He gets hit by a mangonel, and he'll almost get hit again. So like we said, Sebastian just significant advantage to Imp. And now that the skirms are pretty weak, he's got a lot more time to get those cav archers flying. And I think heavy cav archer with silk armor can be ridiculous with the Tatars. His food eco is struggling, though, and he doesn't have castles to defend from raids. I'm really surprised that ACCM is still making the Li Daos. I thought he would just switch into, like, light cav and just go full trash. Like, light cav skirms, just raid the sides and turn this into a map control game. I don't think Li Dao is really that good. This unit does, like, bleed damage. So when it hits you, the damage continues after the attack, which is very unique. But it's not, like, to a level which to me feels insanely strong. I just think ACCM feels he needs it because he's worried about the knights right now. Like, he's worried about the melee units because he's relying on the skirms. So that's his meat shield. Honestly, though, they are tankier than a light cav is with no bloodlines. So with that in mind, maybe that's why he's making them. Someone says it's absolutely insanely strong. How much total damage does it do at the end of the bleed would be my question. Because the way I think about it is, the way the damage is like output to the unit is different, but the overall damage is kind of what I'm curious on. In my experience, it's been like a normal high attack unit with low attack, with low HP. So, but I haven't experienced it enough. It's about 20 damage. Okay. About 20 total damage. Well, I think they're cheap as well. The main issue, if you're going to be going unique units, the main issue really becomes you need to have your castles. And he already lost one. He's now repairing a second. He needs to hold this position, and he's going to raid with the Li Daos now. Ballistics is 40 seconds away for Sebastian. But it's not a unit that's strong enough to stay alive against cav archers. Here we can see some of the bleed. There will be blood. But the CA aren't even microed, and the CA win that fight. A lot of that, though, is probably just because ACCM doesn't have time to get upgrades. He doesn't have elite. He doesn't have the final armor. Sebastian getting more raids with Keshiks now. And Sebastian has the cav archers, and skirms are going to have to come back home for this. And Sebastian, with this 4 treb stack, he did get conscription too, so his units are going to produce very quickly. This is the game for him, is taking down this castle and then shifting focus to this castle. Skirms will produce very quickly to come back home for ACCM. Who, by the way, has only ever been to 3 ranges this game, and he's made this many skirms. I think Sebastian has switched to 4 behind this. They've both done an incredible job of utilizing their resources. Oh, we got the mounted trebuchets. We got the mounted trebuchets on the way, and the mounted trebuchets snipe the castle. ACCM will now make a move for these trebs. Holy ACCM. He's got fully upgraded skirms, by the way. His castle will fall, but he takes one of the trebs from Sebastian. This is Sebastian's gold income. Sebastian might not be able to have the gold income to compete long-term here. He doesn't have the neutral golds. He does have this one, sorry, with a couple villagers, but that's not enough. And there's just so many freaking skirms, dude. And then you've got the Li Daos out there as a semi-meat shield. Holy ACCM. He just will not freaking die, dude. Both games, I've just been consistently impressed with how Sebastian has played, and ACCM holding on when things get rough. The skirms will come back to deal with this now. He'll fix those idols. He's pushing this castle. This is the only castle for Sebastian. Sebastian is running out of ideas right now. Look at those camels. That is the look of determination right there. I don't know who's swinging the little treb there. Somehow the camel is, but Sebastian's crumbling. There's a treb in there. That should be an easy snipe. It's sniped. The castle will fall. Sebastian's army can't engage. He needs Hussar. He needs a counter to skirms. The whole game he's been trying to find an answer to skirms, and maybe he switched to cav archers too early. If anything, it just felt like he dealt with the skirms, and so in a normal situation, it wouldn't be dangerous for the opponent to go skirms because it would take so much time. But with the Khitans, it doesn't take time. And now another castle from ACCM. He did get more armor on the Lee Dows. Mangonel will fire. Mangonel goes down via the camel treb. Hussars do have full armor here. We aren't seeing the unique tech, though, so that unique tech could be really helpful right now, and there's no castle to research it. Wow. I mean, there were still some cav archer raids happening, but I think ACCM can take this now. Just skirm Hussar. Like I said before, Sebastian's base is wide open. He gets raided once, he's dead. He doesn't have defensive castles. Now, ACCM only has 2, but they're positioned pretty nicely right now, I'd say. And the trebuchets here are actually going to be protected as well. ACCM 4 relics. ACCM can take this gold. This is insane level from ACCM. I'm used to ACCM playing like a god, but this is above the level I'm used to seeing, in my opinion. Because Sebastian has brought it today, and it just has not been enough so far. Again, Khitans, it's not about the Lancers anymore. It's about the skirms and the eco. And now the Hussar raids, they'll start, and Sebastian's population is just going to disappear. Like, just 3 Hussars here, Sebastian will actually GG, honestly. Like, what are you supposed to do? If Hussars are streaming into your eco, you haven't teched into Halb. You don't even have the front of your base. The only thing that's really stopping you or keeping you in the game is the fact that ACCM hasn't switched positions. He's at 170 pop. That'll change. The Hussars and the skirmishers on the hill are still winning fights. And yeah, villagers are starting to drop now. And Sebastian's probably sitting here like, what more can I have done here? The mounted trebs. Chad, is it only Khitans who gets them? I think Jurchens might. I thought it was only Khitans. Chat will know. Forgive me for not knowing 100%. I think it's only them. I just kind of forget about them in my games. So, very experienced play there. The Cav will soon regenerate HP in combat. ACCM getting his second unique tech. The first one, infantry and skirmishers reflecting melee damage. Oh, that's a huge upgrade. That explains why some of the Hussars are dying against the skirms. They're reflecting damage. One of the new semi-controversial interesting bonuses. Though maybe not talked about as much as the heroes. And I just don't know how Sebastian can survive when his eco is exposed like this. Their skirm raids are not really it. But Hussar raids can switch sides. And ACCM knows that he's won this game as long as he doesn't do anything stupid. So he's placing a defensive castle. Look at the pastures, man. Pastures everywhere. He's being properly pasteurized here, Sebastian. And he will have to call it now. I think he's stunned. I think he's absolutely stunned. And I kind of am as well. You can sit here and you can say, oh, Khitan's OP. But in 2 straight games, Sebastian has played like near perfect Age of Empires. And ACCM has found a slightly higher level above that. And has made it happen. So good from ACCM. So, I mean, the positive for Sebastian is there might not be a lot of self-frustration. It's not as though he's not playing his best. It's not as though he's not bringing his all. But the negative, of course, would be he just can't seem to beat the monster that is ACCM. Games have been close, though. Game 1, if Sebastian had a slightly different decision, maybe he wins it. In this game, it felt like the key moments were actually in the middle of this map. Like, that TC being attacked by mangonels on top of the hill was an insane position to have for Sebastian, but then he got pushed back. In the end, I wonder if Sebastian just opened Hussar here. Like, again, to explain the logic, he killed off a lot of skirms. And so if he killed off a lot of skirms, he's thinking, I can now go Cav Archers. That's a logical decision, but there were just so many more skirms immediately after that from ACCM that he probably wishes he would have gone Hussar or even Cavalier first. But it just, that's what makes the Catan so tricky, is they can recover with their military so fast, and they have the food eco to back it up. So, GG. Hopefully still a long best of 7. Sebastian probably needs to win the next one, though. Okay, so welcome. We have Not Nomad, a map that is kind of looks like Nomad, but is literally titled Not Nomad. The TCs are placed for you on a wood line. The docks are placed for you on a shoreline, but that is always random. So it has Nomad elements, but it doesn't at the same time. Sebastian, he's playing as the Dravidians. His dock is in the north. And then ACCM, he is playing as the Huns, and his dock is over here in the southeast. Now, I like the Huns, but if it was Nomad, they would actually get a horse. That's funny, actually. He's getting scammed, bro. If it was a Nomad start, he'd get the horse, but it's not Nomad, so he doesn't get the horse. I still think it's a really nice civ to have here. The weakest point of Huns in normal Nomad is actually the dock, because you don't have the wood to build a TC and also build a dock. So this map, giving you the dock, means you can get to fish pretty quickly. They're somewhat close to each other on land here. And just like Nomad, they'll be scouting with their sheep on the shorelines and in the middle to find each other here. Yo, what's up, gamer? Welcome back. Kiri, thank you for the prime. Thank you, Sneaky Stab, for the prime. Mentioning the primes seems to have paid off. ACCM has another board nearby. Is really good scouting so far. Ooh, this will be interesting. So he also sees this boar. We saw this yesterday where players were close and then one player got to the boar and it completely influenced, in my opinion, the builds. And Sebastian might be factoring that boar in. Now, Sebastian can look at that and he can know that ACCM's TC is up there. So that's good. But ACCM should be able to get 3 boars. Sebastian's probably only going to get 2. I'm not seeing any other boars really close by for him to bring in. So 3-2 on the boars for the player who's already up 2 games here. Yeah, prime subs don't auto-resub because Jeff Bezos doesn't want to auto-lose money. So I probably should remind people more. But I just don't like to be... Streaming is a very repetitive job. I'm talking about the same game all the time. And you're always... I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be... frustrating for people. But honestly, I think I'm hypercritical of myself, and it's really not that big a deal. ACCM, I would assume is going to go water here, because every single game that I have seen has been water. Every single winning game I've seen has been player has opened with some water control and feudal age. So again, my take is there hasn't been as much variety in strategy on this as normal Nomad. That boar comes in here for ACCM. ACCM will build the lumber camp. Once that's up, he will aim to click up to feudal age. T90, you're the least annoying streamer about Twitch primes? Okay, then I'll try and be more annoying. How's that? we gotta improve the annoying numbers. Yeah, it's not about the food to get to feudal age, but it's about the food underneath your TC after you get to feudal age with the whole boar predicament. Like that, there's a big difference here, man. Like, it's 3-2 on boars. And ACCM will have more to work with. Won't be stretched quite as thin. Thankfully for Sebastian, his fishing ships have better carry capacity, so his fishing eco is usually a bit more efficient. The docks give you pop space, so there's benefits to having the Dravidians instead of the Huns. Someone says you're annoying about other things. Okay, well, as long as I'm not annoying about primes, I guess I'll take it. Thank you. Not as annoying as these freaking chickens, though, bro. They need to shut up. I can't wait for the new patch. They're apparently going to make them quieter. I cannot wait. Oh. Sebastian's trying to forward dock ACCM. And he walked right up to this. Now, he scouted this with this turkey. So he knew the dock was here. This is a strat. I've seen this on other types of hybrid maps as well. This immediately changes ACCM's plan in a way. But I will say this. ACCM knowing it's here is way better than being surprised by forward fires. Because he probably wanted to go galleys. Now there's an argument he just opens fires. ACCM does know that Sebastian has a dock up here because he lost a sheep to that as well. And I think he's going to try and do the same thing. Double fire galley on the way. Now the issue for Sebastian is he's producing 1 fire galley from this position. ACCM's producing 2. So it's really hard for him to immediately find benefit. ACCM will sneak to the north. So there will be a lot of fires. But there's another dock down here from Sebastian. Now the fish, not so plentiful here for ACCM. If he moves over here, he'll find it. But that's moving into another dock position from Sebastian. And I think ACCM might even want another dock here in a second. And he'll find the villager. ACCM doesn't have a loom right now. He's researching it. Gets the quick walls. And see, the fires are coming this way from Sebastian. He is not expecting ACCM to be here. But this is a lot of docks. This is a lot of D, man. This is too much to manage. How are you supposed to produce out of 4 docks? You can't. You have to decide which docks you produce out of at the right moments. We also have a barracks from ACCM. So yeah, he's really taking advantage of the fact that Hunts don't have to build houses. All that wood savings he's spending right away. He's keeping his fish safe for now. I think you want to wait for 2 fires. Like technically, right? You want to wait for 2 fires with this dock. But with how intense these games go, they're always going to send the first one. I think players need to, and I would love to have a discussion on this. Like, maybe there's even a high-level player in my chat right now. So often, everyone, including myself, in a game like this, you're going to go with 1. You go for 2, then you can pretty much guarantee they can't stabilize. But you're under a lot of pressure yourself. You want some counterplay. You want to distract them. All of these factors play into it. And so that's why he moves out. In the end, if he produces again, he will have the second one by the time he finds the fish. You guys are all high-level players in theory. Like, whatever, I'm not sure your excuses. You might say, well, if I didn't have a job, if I didn't have kids, if I didn't have such a big brain, I'd be able to game like this. But you guys are simply too intelligent. There's that fire, killing off the fish. So they're both going to be losing fishing ships now, actually. But so far, you could say that Sebastian's strategy has worked. It's just this counterplay from ACCM has made it somewhat even on water in terms of the fishing economy. And he's going to be making archers. And ACCM can go directly to the south and disrupt Sebastian's eco. And Sebastian doesn't even have a barracks yet. So ACCM's just got to rat mode it out. He's got to hold on to what he's got. And, oh man, this fire here as well. If ACCM notices this. Yeah, he's got 2 fires versus 1. Sebastian not noticing there is crazy. And there's the occasional demo. There's the repairs. ACCM doing what he can to hold on. Demo now from Sebastian. It will hit. I think there was a demo here as well that wasn't so good for ACCM, but ACCM still holding on. Archers haven't moved out yet. 2 archers with fletching, though, would be insanely strong if it got onto the gold. There's 0... sorry, that's not true. There's 3 fishing ships for Sebastian. I don't see them. Where are they? Are they moving? Are they running? Where are they? Oh, they're running away. Yeah, so they're not working right now. But at least he does have them. And his town center kills the first archer. So now he has the heads up that this is going to happen, but Still, the archers have fletching, and he doesn't have a loom yet. Good recognition to get loom, but not having loom means he's going to lose 1 vil. And he should lose 2, actually. Look how fast the villagers die without loom. Oh, man. ACCM is a beast, dude. That was a weak villager, too. He double-checked, saw the villager was weak. Now archers are coming. Now there's a tower coming from ACCM, who still might be thinking about a random demo to not completely lose water. He still has the fire production up here. The fish for Sebastian are looping the whole way around. Sebastian panicking now. Sebastian dropping a range for skirmishers. Don't tell me this is going to be a sweep here today. Another villager goes down. Again, there's just no benefit to winning water yet for Sebastian. He doesn't have a fish boom. Another villager is going to go down. And his wood eco is disrupted on both sides because he can't take the lumber camp. He can't take it to TC. He will trap the army. Oh, he's trying to. Well, if ACCM actually just stayed there, he would have killed 2 more villagers, maybe. But the position is really nice as is. And he still has demos, and he's going to produce fires, and he still has this dock. Like, he is not giving up on water completely. He even has these fires as well, and I think he found those retreating fishing ships, too. Huns are just so smooth in messy games. The wood savings, the amount of army production you can go for. I think Sebastian is just hoping that he can add fish right now. Honestly, he might be able to get away with it because that was a waste of demos there for ACCM. That could have been better. But there's more fires coming through. There's some weak ships here for Sebastian. The archers for ACCM are looking for the shoreline Ville with the repairs. They could find her. She should be dead. Yep, he sees it now. Still some action over here. ACCM actually added fishing ships in the north. So yeah, the repair villager is dead, but so is the dock for ACCM, so he doesn't have a dock down here anymore. There's more villagers coming from ACCM, who also added a stable behind this, and the scouts are now here too. What can this man not do? He's made demos, he's made fires, he's made archers, he's gone for towers. This is crazy. And now he has another group of archers on this side as well. Forcing reactions from Sebastian. And Sebastian needs a quick wall because the archers are running around and he didn't get it. And now the tower's going up and now the spearman's going down. ACCM's insane. But wait! Sebastian traps him. Or does he? Feels like he does. That could have been calculated from Sebastian. He'll kill the archers now. But now another tower is going to go up. Oh, and we even have a gate to block off the army. Yeah, ACCM needs to just build that tower. And Sebastian can't counter tower. He doesn't have any stone. He built the tower on the gold earlier. Sebastian has the water now. So he can get up to high fishing ship numbers in theory. But he needs wood for that. And he was taking wood here. Can't take it anymore. This was his lumber camp. He needs a new lumber camp, but he doesn't have the wood for that. He does have a lumber camp there, I guess. It's just a masterclass in aggression from ACCM. And adaptation, because the push came in a way that I haven't seen in a lot of other games. So this is definitely like a prepped strat from Sebastian to go for the forward dock. ACCM is just murdering the barracks now. Honestly, it's kind of smart. If you want to go knights, taking down the barracks means they can't make spears. Also, ACCM's fires are here, so at some point he'll probably find fish. Sebastian may be adding fish up there. And ACCM's still not giving up. He's going to add another dock in the north. He's got demos and fires in queue. He has a repairville there. Another villager just got sniped by a scout. That was the weak one from earlier. We have another tower now. Can Sebastian hold on here? I don't see it. All the new archers are just going into the towers now. These towers are in such a crazy position. Like, look, all of Sebastian's eco is right next to this. Dock hasn't been built in the north yet. Sebastian's on the way to Castle Age. Impressive. that I'm even saying that right now. This tower is getting shot down by the tower from ACCM with the archers inside of it. And Sebastian has villagers inside, so that's more idle time. He doesn't have a blacksmith yet. He'll need one. He'll need fletching to even be able to range this tower. And ACCM is coming back on water now in the north, which is absolutely insane. He lost how many docks? But this one dock and some patience has allowed him to stick around. Hits the demo. Some healthy fires are moving in against weak fires now. And he's also on the way to Castle Age. Scouts lurking around. They won't get the kills they're hoping for. We have another range from Sebastian, who is running out of stone to repair that tower. ACCM will build another dock with this villager. So he's just really not giving Sebastian the fish. The first thing Sebastian needs to do is a siege workshop in Castle Age, and he needs some type of counterattack. Like, he needs his army to hit ACCM for once. It looks like he wants a forward siege workshop, but he probably thinks this is fully walled. He's never been over there. It actually is open. Okay, there's the defensive siege workshop. There's a villager in this army. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Like, it kind of feels like he accidentally brought her in the army group. Now that he's going for this siege workshop. If ACCM can afford enough knights, this could be really strong. By the way, the barracks is still up, so pikeman upgrade could be researched. And this is a difficult army for ACCM to deal with right now. He doesn't have much, but he does have a tower. There's that dock. There's not a clean fishing eco for Sebastian, but he's holding on land. Mangonel's on the way to hopefully deal with this tower that has just shot his only defense on his gold down in that tower. Double stable knight production from ACCM. He's got farms as well. Sebastian can't say the same. And this tower is likely going to just be repaired to hold this position now. And the knights are going to want to come kill this. Or this, though. You have a decision to make. You can take this first, probably, so your eco can breathe a little bit more. Sebastian actually running really low on wood and gold, too, in these moments with the repairs. So it gets... You might run out of res. Because you're spending so many other things. But he's not really spending on that many other things. ACCM is able to. Chain barding armor is in for the knights. This army, he's just forgotten. And here come the knights now. And those knights want the siege. And they're going to get the siege, guys. With +2 armor and bloodlines, they're getting the siege. That's 1. That's going to be 2. The villager survives as well. And Sebastian probably just cannot believe he's about to be down 3 games, man. As good as I've seen ACCM play in years. We always expect him to be great, but so freaking sharp. Felt the exact same with Nikov versus Tato earlier, by the way. Nikov's strategy was insane. His execution, his adaptation, his confidence. Wouldn't surprise me if those two trained a bunch together, by the way. It's normally something I ask after the fact. He's being patient with the knights. Maybe he needs to be more patient now. But I think he was maybe distracted by something. Big crossbow mass for Sebastian. There's some weak knights out there. The crossbows are your way back into this game. And this is a good engagement. Those knights ideally will be healed by a monk at some point. I mean, this is high risk for Sebastian. He's leaving his own base, where he basically has no defense, to try and counterattack. But it's a risk he has to take. The problem is, ACCM has really good coverage on the map with town centers and towers. Like, there's just not a lot of areas to really raid right now. Maybe you can snipe the monk that's healing up the knights, but ACCM will see those crossbows. The archers actually come out of the tower and will sit behind the wood lines now. But Sebastian has more crossbows there to defend. Lots of vital time for ACCM. inside of those TCs. So his worker count's not as good as it could be. Or they like the efficiency's not as good. This is his only town center here, Sebastian. He's going full crossbow, full siege to come back into this. Which is the correct move. You have 0 on food. You're not going to boom. You need crazy engagements. ACCM adding galleys somewhere, which is kind of interesting. ACCM will be focused in more areas than his opponent will be, which could be his downfall. There's more to manage with 3 town centers. But obviously, that's the way you can potentially win the game as well. Love how ACCM is just not forgetting about this army. He's just pulling it away. Does he have an answer for this, though? It feels like he needs siege at home. And I also wonder if ACCM will go for some fish at some point, because he's slowly taking the water. He actually doesn't need knights. He just needs mangonels. Like, mangonels are actually the key right now. Oh, he's added the galleys for the wood line. Ah. Oh, that's sick. It's really smart. Yeah, that makes sense. Good micro from Sebastian. He will take the mangonel. But he does lose some crossbows in the process. Still has this other group back here. Looks like he lost some skirms. Looks like there is a siege workshop for ACCM. ACCM pretty light on gold, but he can fix that with these villagers here. Not if he gets attacked there, though. Feels like Sebastian has given himself some chances. I wonder if it makes sense to just go elite skirmisher right now if you're ACCM. He has 2 skirms in the range, so he was thinking about it. You can tell how committed Sebastian is. Look how many crossbows he has. 41. Just insane. But he needs to actually take down TCs. He needs to actually be doing significant damage. Here he'll go for the splits. That's the micro we expect. So, mangonels don't counter crossbows when Sebastian's playing like this. But he has no food income for more villagers. So he has to be killing non-stop now. There's the elite skirm upgrade for ACCM. Which still doesn't get him out of this spot, because siege is there too. And he's also got 25 on stone for a potential forward castle. I'd like to see ACCM if he can think about it, add some fishing ships. Crossbows coming in, getting more kills. ACCM really doesn't have a lot of resources to work with right now, guys. The army from Sebastian's unbelievable. And this is actually the gold that ACCM needs. He never moved out to this gold. If he does, Sebastian will see it. And Sebastian could send some army over there. More crossbows over here. Is Sebastian bringing this back right now? This is unbelievable. And he will drop that castle. That castle definitely goes up. There's no way that castle's ever denied. Sebastian says, I'm just going full micro mode right now. I really don't think, like, ACCM has done a lot wrong here. He's gained his Vil lead, but it's just the pressure from Sebastian, the non-stop micro. All the different positions he's found himself in has been perfect. And now we have a castle from ACCM going up to defend his base. It will go up. It will go up. And that does protect that whole area. But these villagers will run and... Sebastian knows his eco is horrible. Oh, guys, the wood line. Yeah, this is actually his only wood income right now. We knew his eco was bad. The galleys contributed to some kills. But the knights had already killed 12 villagers. And Sebastian knew this was desperate the whole time. And, yeah, I mean, eventually, when you have the eco like this, eventually... you're gonna stabilize and win this game. It's 70 eco versus 30, and Sebastian knows that's pretty much the end of it for him. Well played, ACCM. He's up 3-0 now because Sebastian's playing so well. I just love his tenacity in the fights. Like, the forward dock created some chaos. He was probably going to go for a galley build initially, and he went immediate dock in the north, recognizing that the way to counter Sebastian's strategy was to do the same thing to him. And not only that, not only did ACCM hold on water for a long time, he went for the archers, and the scouts and the towers in feudal age. Like, he did so much in feudal age, man. So much more than I've seen other players do on this map. And guys, if you're talking about water in AoE2, it's okay to lose water as long as you don't lose water really quickly. It's all about how long you can hold on water. Because Sebastian never found the benefit. He won water, but he couldn't add 10, 12 fishing ships, right? He added a couple, but it never got to extreme numbers. And then that's why ACCM's transitions with food were so much better. Placing mills on the deer, placing mills on the berries. And what a game. So, yeah, Sebastian's going to need 4 straight. Honestly, still think he's playing insane. So maybe you take it 1 game at a time. And maybe 4 straight is actually doable. But I am just so impressed with ACCM's level right now. And he's 1 win away from a ticket. From a plane ticket to China for the main event, which will be a LAN. So here we are, game 4. Someone said, what is Ring of Reeds? And I thought, there's no way I could possibly explain this map without showing it. So your trees are reeds, so it's only 50 wood. So unless you go to the outside, so this is the Ring of Reeds, right? It's kind of like Arena or Hideout where you start with some walls. It's only palisade walls. It seems fixed. Your main gold, your golds and your stones outside your walls, always forward. So really possible to lose grounds to a tower rush. In the middle, there's some water with shorefish, there's berries, and there's deer. In the past, people used to mill here. But what we've been seeing, actually, is players are docking. Players are even docking on the outside on the shorefish, and then they're making fires and they're making galleys and sending them around this ring. So I think ACCM Civ is more suited for kind of the eco approach and not docking. But the Malians have good infantry, so it could be a good map for men-at-arms. Malians have cheap wood buildings, so it's a good map for an early dock. You know, as the players just both choose to push in the deer here, which pretty much confirms to me they will not dock the middle. I think if they were going to dock the middle, they would be somewhere else with their scouts and not pushing the deer. Yeah, just we've seen some interesting things. Yeah, look at this. Sebastian building a dock on the outside. So instead of a mill, going for the dock. But it kind of makes sense, right? Like, a mill is 100 wood. A dock's 150. So it is more investment. But you can at least use this defensively. And you can also produce an extra eco unit with it, right? So I don't know why we weren't seeing people do it before, but it does kind of make some sense. I think ACCM is about to do the same. But guys, I really have to ask around. I have to ask, like, where did it start? Who did this first in practice sessions? Where that then trickled into another practice session and trickled into another practice session. And then it went into the qualifier. And here we are talking about it at the decider. Somebody starts it. Now, it would be very ACCM. He's been known as the master chef. Cooking up the strats. It could have been him, but I would, if I had to guess, I would probably lean towards ACCM, but maybe someone like Nikov as well. But it's out there now. It's no longer a secret. So I like Burgundians because long term, this map could be about like booming, and adding scouts maybe, going light cav approach like Arena. Sebastian needs this. He so badly wants this kill. And ACCM won't give it to him. But I think the Malians are a more natural pick if you're going to play the docks. T90 doubts his ACCM was training with everybody and sharing all the text. Well, I mean, that's ACCM trains more than probably any player. And he also trains with everybody. Everyone who's willing, he trains with. So that's why it would kind of make sense to me if it was him. Like, he was definitely in practice sessions when this stuff was used, but who tried it first, right? Because that's what practice sessions is about. It's like someone you're testing the theories there. But yeah, I love that about ACCM. And it shows, right? It shows that he's aware. Now, this is a dock block here. So he actually has, with this palisade, blocked ships from passing through. But he hasn't added a single fishing ship. And it looks like ACCM is going to plan on going scouts. Could be skirmishers. Spear and skirm could be an option as well. And obviously towers would be pretty natural too. And okay, he goes for a dock. Flemish militia! Oh my goodness! So, in recent balance patches, they gave this civilization the ability to make Flemish militia in feudal age. Nobody freaking does it. But here ACCM is, and he's going to open with Flemish militia. It's 45 HP, 5 base attack. It's not the craziest stats, but you could consider it kind of like a man-at-arm, maybe. Do they have bonuses versus boats? They have a 4 attack damage bonus versus ships. Okay. Well, there's a tower there. There will also be his own dock, so he's definitely heavily prioritizing the middle. Meanwhile, his fishing... Oh, my goodness. His scout is taking out Sebastian's fishing ship. At 3 HP scout, guys. And now the fire can't actually leave because it's dock blocked itself, but the tower takes down the Flemish militia. So that's maybe not the best use of the Flemish militia. But I think ACCM's winning the tower war, which he will consider worth it. That scout killed 3 eco, guys. That's insane. That's a 3 HP scout. He could have taken the coin flip engagement against the other scout earlier. He didn't. And it has resulted in him getting 3 kills while everything else was happening. Well, Sebastian's eco's still, in theory, better. He's got more workers. But we'll see how this... what this turns into. Someone could try a demo here. And I think the demo would... the pathing would be horrible, but you might be able to land a big shot on Repairvilles. Especially because right now, both players might be considering sending their villagers from their tower to the other's tower. That little palisade wall from Sebastian and that tree, though, makes that impossible for ACCM to consider. Okay, here comes the fires, and here comes the demo. There's no escaping this. There's no escaping this. There's no escaping this. The demo gets as close as possible, and it hits 2 of the ships. Or were there 3? Oh, it hit all 3, actually. Oh, it hit all 3. They were on top of each other. I mean, there's not really much you can do to escape that, as I said. Now towers against the boats. We actually have a fire galley headed this way, but Sebastian's defending. This could still be fine for Sebastian. This could also be horrible for Sebastian. It could go either way. There's a demo coming for ACCM. Sebastian was going to want this kill, but if he goes too far, he could lose everything. He could lose his villagers as well. Guys, this could be really bad for those vills. ACCM loses a vill. There goes the demo. The vills have to move. 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 No! 2 villagers down. The ships are also weak, and now he doesn't have a repair villagers nearby. His tower is still being shot down. And it's just such a messy spot, dude. There is no way I would ever want to be in either player's position right now. It's just horrible. Villager will die for ACCM. But he just wants to win the tower war. He just wants this position. There's the demo now from Sebastian. 1 on food for Sebastian, by the way. He could fix that. That's just a fishing ship. But he doesn't have any farms. There are 2 farms, and there are some mills for ACCM, and he's getting horsepower now, too, so he's clearly thinking about adding farms. He also got bow saw. Again, wood lines kind of suck on this map, but it is more efficient. The wood has been refreshed for Sebastian, so he's done a good job there. But okay, what do you actually gain from shooting down that tower now if you're ACCM? Do you gain anything? Okay, you gain another tower. He does have fires coming this way, so he's just occasionally using this dock to send in some pressure. He just spotted some vills. He might send a demo. For now, he's got the demo in here. And he's hiding it. 3 farms, 0 farms. Idle TC is rising for Sebastian. He was counting on having the food here. The only food income right now are these villagers on the shorefish. So I think the game plan's actually perfect. You stop the fishing build order with this approach, and then you farm, which is exactly what Burgundians want to do, right? So I think the approach is very sound. Nice save here from Sebastian. He will actually get those kills. That's very good for him. Sebastian needs to spend that wood. Maybe drop a barracks. Maybe go for some archers. Counterattack with archers would be nice. We have another dock from ACCM. Again, protecting the shorefish so he can take them, but also stopping the fires from advancing. Oh, demo went in. I don't think it killed anything, but it did actually weaken the tower. And ACCM has to consider abandoning the tower now. And he doesn't have that much stone income right now, but he does have stone income. And res collected still ahead for Sebastian. It was a lot of fires. He has 3 fires here, and he has 2 fires over here. So he could start to grind down those docks. Push the docks. Take it one game at a time here, guys. And if you're down 3-0 and you're playing poorly, you're going to lose the mental edge, and you're going to be frustrated. But he's been playing good. Again, he tries a demo. Couldn't make it into the villagers there, but he does weaken the tower again. Feels like ACCM's hanging on, and the castle age time will be competitive, and that the military number, the navy number right now for Sebastian can simply be neutralized by a demo on either side of the dock block. And if castle age comes in faster, a siege push in the middle could be incredibly strong and could push Sebastian off of all the stone and gold. Just really interesting. I kind of like, though, I mean, it's new, and something being new is exciting, but this whole docking meta on this map is kind of wild, man. I kind of like it. Great recognition from Sebastian to realize this is going to Castle Age, and he uses the market, and he clicks up. So there he goes. ACCM hasn't clicked yet. He's about to. But he's getting pressured by the fires on either side of these docks, and he has to be really careful over here. That's 9 villagers. Imagine if Sebastian brought a demo. He would boom those villagers. That would win the game. Yeah, I don't know if Sebastian can hang around here, though, right? Because you know ACCM is just going to add a demo. This is good. ACCM hasn't reacted yet. ACCM needs to react. He reacts. And in the middle, he's actually just been repairing this tower. He's not actually garrisoned, so he's not shooting Sebastian's tower down. Sebastian's played well. KD is 14-14. Sebastian is no farms, but he's taking more of the shorefish. He's added more docks. That's been his food income, which is fine. Don't need the farms right now. Sebastian's no longer mining stone. ACCM still is, but I don't know if he'll get the stone for a castle in early Castle Age. That's kind of funny. ACCM's fire now can't be used. What you could do, though, is you could add a galley on the other side, and then you could hit their fires. Kind of like a fractal meta. Okay, is this about to be a tower? Oh, he's rushing the tower. He's rushing the tower. He's rushing the tower, and he will full garrison this tower. He doesn't have fletching yet. He's also adding Flemish militia. Sebastian's getting quick walls. ACCM's got to get out of here, man. This is not working. He's got to get out of here because there's a demo on the way for Sebastian now. Nice job from Sebastian to wall that. Because in his mind, this is probably not really something to focus on right now. Flemish militia haven't done a ton. And they get destroyed by the demo there. I wonder if they get more stats in Castle Age, kind of like a sergeant. I feel like they should. I feel like they do. They have to. Again, it's just something we've seen so infrequently. Pretty sure they do. ACCM still has his own demo. Flemish militia now. Okay, up to 8 attack. Well, still only 55 HP, though. They're really not great. And ACCM hoping to hold these towers in the middle. We'll see if that's possible. Sebastian's going to be adding monks. He's going to be adding siege. And he's starting to push these towers down already. But there is a demo for ACCM, who's going for light cav for 1 total scout right now. There's the demo. No, you stupid Flemish militia. Oh, the attack round. Oh, that was so well played from Sebastian. Holy. The Flemish militia blocked the demo, though. Slowed it down, and it gave Sebastian some time there. And both players have to respect the demo. Man, Sebastian. Okay. Okay. ACCM wants a castle. He would love to keep this tower up as well. There's the light cav now. There are monks, though. But that's what the light cav is designed to kill. 1 monk down. 1 light cav converted. Villagers now exposed. Another light cav on the way. Villagers have to fall back, and another beautiful attack round there from Sebastian. He might even save his monk. He doesn't. But he's dropping a castle. Well, he wanted the forward castle if he could get there. Clearly. But he's unable to get there. It was too risky. Defensive castle's good. You don't want to wait around with the stone. Game is still close. But he's lost his docks now, so he will not be able to go to the outside. Question is, does he need the outside? This is where the stone and gold is. This is where there's lots of wood. He now is going to bring light cav around the backside, try and raid Sebastian out here. Sebastian still 0 farms. And Sebastian isn't aware that that castle is there, so he might be thinking about a big push and actually research his town watch. Is that clutch or what? Sees the castle now, and now he knows. I think he got housed. But sometimes getting housed is a good thing, because you notice these things. And now a 3rd TC for Sebastian. I mean, it's like the benefit of winning water is normally you have good economy. But the thing is, he doesn't have good economy because of winning water. I'm concerned about this whole 3 town center 0 farm thing. Right now, he's done a good job with it. If he's not adding farms actively, this could become a problem. But 3 TCs versus 1, obviously huge advantage for Sebastian. And yeah, this is what you need to do. Still take some of this food on the shorelines, but that can still be disrupted by raids. He's actually bringing the fire galleys back now to defend it, which is smart, instead of just leaving them there. And Mangonel will get taken out here. And will there be 2 Mangonels out down there for Sebastian? The Coustilier dives. And he will lose both his Mangonels. Does get a conversion, but I think ACCM will be happy with that. He traded 1 unit for 2 Mangonels. That's fine. Does that TC get ranged by the fires? Because if it does, that is not a good TC. Looks like it does not, unless the fires move a little bit closer. Wow, Sebastian sees it, though. Sebastian's actually adding War Galley, which is a really good call. Can he afford Fletching and Bodkin, though? How has he produced villagers out of these TCs? Now he's adding farms as well. This is so well played, but he will lose villagers back here. Monks come over to defend. A little too late for them. Light cav now from Sebastian that I believe he's produced. These are not light cav that he converted. He's adding these now. But those light cav will not fully deny the TC. TC will complete. Ships may actually go down here. Yeah, your water control is not as solid as you think, Sebastian. When you've got this much cav out, they can actually take down your fires. Oh, but Sebastian was converting over here. So both players were just looking at different areas of the map there. No freaking way, dude. ACCM, this is so ballsy, man. If your opponent has any siege, this could be denied. There we go. Sebastian sees this. His Mangonel needs to roll this way, dude. You could tell he's clicked it here, and it's pathing around. What's happening? Nilly! Nilly! Oh, man. I mean, I'm assuming he notices because he's converting. Mangonel's on the way now. Light Cav's on the way for the Mangonel. Light Cav gets deleted. Castle's at 60%. If this castle goes up, This is really close to a lot of the stones and golds for Sebastian, and the micro from ACCM on the Vils is good. More cav is coming in to dive and deal with this, and the castle's going to go up. ACCM simply backs away, and now the Mangonel will get shot down. It's a horrible, horrible spot to defend, and there was also some raids here from ACCM, killing Vils underneath the TC. How does the Master Chef continue to cook? How does he do it? So important, guys. Like, where is Sebastian supposed to be able to take stone and gold? Right underneath the castle. He could maybe think about ramming this down if it's another Civ, but the Coustelier can take down the Rams so fast. I just think Sebastian went so quickly to 3 TCs, and then he started getting so distracted on the outside by ACCM. All the outside shenanigans was just a setup for that middle castle, but that castle was ballsy. That was ballsy. Like, that can just lose you the game right there. But how frequently do castle spots decide games? You watch a doubt game. You usually decided the game, right? When I think of these two, Sebastian had a castle that had it gone up, he would have been at another LAN event, so... Castles are maybe the most important building in the game after a town center. I know Sebastian's got good monk micro, but this is so tough now. He's got to react actively to both sides with monks. And ACCM can just back away and go back into the castle and wait for another distraction and another time to run out. He's adding a dock on this side now for some occasional demos and fires. And his eco is really good. It's pulled ahead. Burgundian upgrades. Look, like, Sebastian always has to be looking. Always. And if he is, ACCM would just go back. He'd be like, okay, I'm going to catch you at one point in time where you're not ready. Raids from ACCM. We could see a demo from ACCM. He wants his unit back. He doesn't get it. Loses the monk. TC's garrisoned, but this TC's completely denied. And now a castle from Sebastian. Okay. He's hanging in here. As has been the theme, like, these games have been really close in terms of level. They've been really intense. I'd like to see some light cav come in here instead. I don't know if you want to be sending your gold units into monks right now, as good as they are. If this, I mean, as it stands, there's been a lot of conversions for Sebastian. Sebastian has 8 monks. And Sebastian can still take Golden Stone. So the castle has not denied it. It set up the potential for it, but it hasn't happened. Gabetto are also very nice here. Sebastian is alive in this game, but the outside could become a problem. He's worried about the middle. The outside could become a problem. There's TC number 3 for ACCM. I think we might see a castle on the outside from ACCM, like right here or something. Where are those monks going to be? Monks are all around for Sebastian. So they seem to be in the right spot, expecting the raids here, because they just lost units on the outside. But that's 900 gold walking around, right? So easy to lose them. Like, these monks will just be killed. We'll see if he gets conversions. Probably not, because Devotion is in. He does get 2 conversions there. That's really good. Lightcap's killing a Vil there. You can tell ACCM just closing in on the sides. Knowing ACCM, this is all to set up the middle now. Oh, boy. Okay, so he's like, all right, the monks are here. So he's not here. 69 eco for Sebastian. 85 for ACCM. And look at those eco upgrades. He has been locked in, man. Even there, Redemption, Sebastian hoping to convert the Mangonel. Mangonel backed away. But Sebastian has such good control. Oh, he goes for the gate. Will he save his monks? Will he get conversions? He gets a couple conversions there. He actually saves most of his monks. It's not a bad engagement. There's demos now. ACCM will see it. So ACCM will never get close to the water. And oh my god, there's the other army though. This is the problem. It's all a setup for the next move, man. ACCM knows the monks are out of position in the middle now. And he just raids everything underneath these town centers. That's so good from ACCM. ACCM just playing too good to lose today. Honestly, think he could beat anybody. Just freaking anybody. Call that a bold statement. This level, he can beat anybody. We'll see him at the main event of LingYuan Cup in China. Well played. I mean, holy crap, ACCM. That was an insane level. I feel for Sebastian. I really do, because I think he has a lot of talent and actually played better than the scoreline suggests. The thing that he can be at least somewhat pleased about is he won't have to play ACCM in the next qualifier, and there is another qualifier. There will be 2 more qualifying spots in the next qualifier, so maybe Sebastian could make it, but holy... That was crazy. There was just multiple instances where he just reminded everyone he just doesn't die. And he's just so stubborn. Like, the tower situation in the build-up was so crazy. And with the Burgundians, he did turn into a game where the fish wasn't really a factor, which is exactly what he wanted. Always focusing on the early eco upgrades and eventually getting to the farms. Burgundians won a cav raid. But guys, like, people train for this. Things can go wrong. Like, you can get unlucky. You can get bad civ matchups. There's a lot of factors that play into these things. I just want to remind you what happened here with ACCM in this qualifier. I'm going to pull up the bracket real quick. Like, this is nuts. He won 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 4-0. I mean, Mihai swept Dao 3-0. And he swept him. Prisma beat Dragonstar 3-2. He swept him. Like, okay, winning 3-0 in the first round, a player of ACCM's caliber, maybe that's kind of in the category of expected. But like 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 4-0 to qualify for a LAN is ridiculous. Nobody else can say that. Everybody else at least lost some games. Like, we're about to see Hart and Barles. You know, Hart lost a game every round. Winchester lost one game. I guess Barles, you know, he lost 1 game, 2 games. So, yeah, impressive. And yeah, Sebastian 3-0'd MBL. He beat a really good Sorokuma. So we'll see if Sebastian qualifies in the next one, but congratulations to ACCM. I'm so happy. Beyond the player, who is an amazing player to root for, you just want to see elite level Age of Empires have success. You want to see that. And it's hard to have that level consistently. But he's always here. You always know you're getting this ACCM, but he was way up here today. That was, poof.